Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the World of Autism. I have my guest podcast series. My name is Michelle Vinekura, and you know me as the blogger of the World of Autism. I've been running it since 2019. It's already been 5 whole years since I've had my blog website going, and then I've now had a guest podcast series along with it since 2020. So it's been 4 years with that running now. So it's been super exciting with that. Speaking of with a guest, I have a guest on here today. His name is Kadin. Welcome, Kadin.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. And let me say, 5 years? That's awesome. Some shows these days are cut off after one or two.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been running my blog website for 5 years now. It was inspired by my social media professor that I had in my community college back up in New Jersey. So that's where that all started from. But yeah, thank you so much about that. Now let's get talk about all about with you now. So I would love to hear more about with your journey with autism a little bit if you would like to share.
Yeah, absolutely. I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old, coincidentally, after getting the smallpox vaccination. That didn't cause it, of course. I just always find that funny since that conspiracy is always floating around
Hmm.
in today's society. And throughout my life, I was told I wouldn't amount to anything because I had autism, even by some school teachers and school districts. So one even cut off my IEP services without parental knowledge or consent, which, yeah, that's kind of thing is actually illegal. Well, I asked once, and I actually might file an Education Act claim thing against that particular school. I mean, I don't know if I can anymore, but I might do that because why not? And but I proved the naysayers wrong due to a very supportive family and my own work ethic and stubbornness and passion. And then COVID hit. I didn't have any in person school. As you may know, everything was shut down, everything was online, everything was digital. And at first I was frustrated, but then I found I could concentrate better online, education wise, than in a standard public school setting. No need to worry about teachers treating you like garbage and cutting your IEP services off. No need to worry about bullying. No need to worry about being hung by a thread by the school districts and being blamed for stuff. But so thanks to COVID, I was able to graduate high school early in 2022. And then before freshman year of college, I worked two jobs at the same time. I'm even with that lasting until April of 2022. Ooh, but I still kept the second job until May, since that's when me and my family moved to Ohio, which is where I'm at now. Oh, and then my advocacy journey began during my freshman year of college with a class project. The assignment was to help the community. So I set up a GoFundMe for Autism Society of America with my group, and we raised over $1,000 for it, and we won a contest with it. But unfortunately, as typical with my generation, the participation trophy generation, my group only wanted to do the assignment to get the grade and the prize money we got, which could only be used at the school cafe. So I really don't get why they cared so much about that. At Although the coffee there was really good. And then I transferred to Kent State University, and this year I've been really diving into advocacy. So I've noticed that autism isn't taken seriously enough, and the big political positions like Congress and the White House and the Pentagon and all them, and I really don't get it. You would think by now they would take this kind of thing seriously, but no, they're focused on petty crap like TikTok bans.
Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely still a lot at the political level that needs to be changed. Absolutely. And I actually want to go back a little bit about where you were talking about where your IEP services were taken away. I That's crazy because so let me tell you a little bit. I actually currently full-time work with a school district. I work with a public school district in Florida. I was originally from New Jersey. My family and I moved to Florida during COVID. And while I've been working with the school district, like I work as a behavior specialist and I'm involved in so many IEP meetings, and let me tell you, I hear stuff like that. I'm like, why? Like, why are we taking away IEPs? Like, s- students are protected by that. They get services and everything. So it's just, yeah, that's crazy that that happened to you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy and illegal from what I hear. Schools can't do that, but they think they have the power to do whatever they want and get away with it. I honestly don't even trust the public school system anymore, thanks to that. Plus, a lot of what's going on politically in those schools with parental rights and going incognito about certain subjects and putting in, quite frankly, very adult topics into elementary schools, which is the worst of the bunch, quite frankly.
Yeah, I know from working on the behavior side, like there's things that I've had to work on with students and everything. So I completely get that. And also, I've had to like coming in as a behavior specialist, but being on this on the autism spectrum myself, like I've had to tell with schools that like how even like just presenting like the protocol safeguards is what's called here in Florida. So that way to make sure that families understand what their rights are. They have to do that. Like you have to get consent for like even if you want to remove an IEP completely, you have to get consent for that. You can't just like go on without like consent from the family themselves. Like that, if you're just taking away an IEP itself like that without consent, that's illegal. Like you have to
Yeah,
have like
exactly.
yeah. So, oh my goodness, I am so sorry that you've gone through that. Like that is not, I don't think that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not your fault. The school was ignorant during that
mhm.
time, and my parents asked why they cut it off, and the school's response was, "Oh, we can tell he has autism. He's doing well
Hmm.
academically. He's doing well behaviorally. Sorry, put him in
Oh,
a
it's one of
robotics
those
program if you have a
situations.
problem." Yeah, and my
Okay.
parents
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
tolerate it.
that we run into, I know by me, we run into that a lot. Like I know there's students that like schools will be like, oh, it's like their kids doing fine academically, behaviorally, but like we're just gonna take away this we feel like that they don't need this benefit and stuff, but at the end you don't realize, and this is a tip for a lot of families, neurodivergent families, please fight for your rights in regards to an IEP. You hear a lot with schools telling you that, like, yes, you may have a child that has really good grades, or that you have a kid that behaves well in school. It doesn't matter. Like, if you still want those services, keep fighting for those services because there are going to be schools that tell you that kind of stuff. So don't give up on advocating for those kind of services for your child. It's so important.
Yeah, that's exactly what my parents did. As soon as they heard the robotics bit, they wrote to various autism organizations in the state we were in, which was Tennessee, and a
Okay.
state senator to get that taken care of. I mean, if I were them, I would have also filed a suit against that particular school, well, to get those rights. But of course, schools are protected from lawsuits depending on the severity, I believe. But that shows how much they fought for me because they know that those services would help me get to where I'm at today.
Hmm. Absolutely. And now speaking of like about with your world transition a little bit about with your college experiences, that the fact that you did it online, that you felt like that it was a better experience for you online than in person.
In person for college now, and there
Okay.
are several online classes here, but I'm thriving very well in college. I have straight A's right now. I have accommodations here, but they don't hang on a thread and threaten to cut every second of every day. Testing accommodations, to be more specific, and I'm more successful than I've been in a long time. I really am. I consider myself to be a lucky individual because I had the tree of early screening, so they detected about autism early, so they could help me be successful. There's a lot of people with autism who unfortunately don't get an awesome family in their corner and early screening and all these things.
Mm.
For example, my cousin, who's also on the spectrum, he's more of a lower end. And his mom actually treated him like absolute garbage for
Oh,
him out on the street to fend for himself, wasn't there for him, forced him to work in a grocery store, and now he has
oh,
an animal cruelty charge. He legally changed his name to 420 Yake, and we all know what 420 means, which I won't say because it's
yeah,
inappropriate and we want to keep it PG here.
yeah.
A child who he lost custody of thanks to a very toxic wife, and he's apparently
Oh.
on the run in Alabama.
Holy cow. Yeah, this is why it's so important that like people gotta be supportive, like no matter like pretty much acceptance is number one. Like where if you accept the person as who they are, like they're especially family, you know? So I I'm so sorry that happened for your cousin and but I am although I'm happy for you though about with your experiences of how much your parents and family have been there for you and look at that, you're in college right now. I could say I've had similar experiences with you um, in regards to kind of with my journey too. Like I've always had a very supportive system. The only thing different, I'm actually the only one in my family that's autistic. I don't have any cousins or anyone else that's on the spectrum. It's just me. And I although school experiences was a little bit different, I actually was very fortunate with my district that I went to. Like New Jersey was kind of number one back then when it came to special education, so it was they had a lot of resources there. But anyways, in regards to I actually had an experience where it was from middle school to high school. I was going to the same high school as my older sister. It wasn't my own school that I'm like going through the first month of high school, not having my accommodations. Basically, my IEP wasn't being followed. I'm like, what's happening here? I was coming home crying from school every day during the first months because I'm like, I'm not passing my tests. I'm just like so overwhelmed. It turned out that my IEP was never transferred over from middle school to high school. Yeah, that
Wow.
was, yeah. So that was, we figured that out was when I finally went down to disability services in my high school and we're talking to the case manager and stuff over there. And it turned out, yeah, my IEP was never transferred over to, they were going to transfer it over to my zone's high school, but they weren't transferring to the one that I was going to. So, yeah, that's, whenever I tell people that, it's like, just mind-boggling. But yeah, it just, but that and also about with college. I went to a community college in person, then I switched online. So I did backwards from what you did. So I did both in person and online. Um I did I went to community college. I was working part-time and then I graduated from my community college in 2019 and then in 2022 I graduated from an online college. I went to Purdue University Global. I don't know if you've heard of that college before. You may have seen commercials about it.
Yeah, I've heard of Purdue.
Yeah, so I graduated from Purdue um about 2 years ago, almost already. So I already have my bachelor's degree. But I did want to ask you, are you pursuing your bachelor's?
Yeah, absolutely. In public relations, to be exact, I'm hoping to work in the music or the politics industry once I graduate from college. I'm interning for a couple of people in politics right now. Oh, so, I'm definitely getting that experience, and eventually, After I've had my fun, I'm retired, I'm hopefully 50 years old, and hopefully the world doesn't blow up into oblivion. I'm thinking about trying my hand at the presidency. I think this country needs the first autistic president in U.S. history. Well, neurodiverse verse is the politically correct term now. But I think the country needs a first one of those. It would teach people to unite and treat others with kindness, no matter what they're going through.
Oh yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more, especially at the leadership level like that for a whole country, like that would be amazing. What a big dream you got right there. And I think that a lot of with your once you get your political background from college, like that's gonna help big time. That'll really help you big time. So good for you about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Before we wrap this up, I just want to ask one more question for you. I usually let people share like one advice that you have. So in this case, for you, it'd be, what advice do you have for autistic and neurodiverse people that are going to college? What
I would
tips do you have for
say
them?
I would say hard work pays off. You got this. You are an amazing person, no matter what you're going through. And if people tell you otherwise, don't give them the time of day, because they're the ones who are going to be missing out on an amazing person, or student, or employer, or boyfriend, or girlfriend. And just know that all these amazing people have done great things while being on the spectrum. Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Friedrich Nietzsche, Dan Aykroyd, Sia, Bruce Willis's daughter recently came out as being on the spectrum. There's all these amazing people who did a bunch of cool stuff in sciences and arts and technology and mathematics while having autism, and they didn't let their struggles define them. So you shouldn't let yours define you either.
Absolutely. And that's a great tip, especially like where there's so much that people could do. So there's so many possibilities, so don't never give up. That's an amazing message. Thank you so much, Kaden, about that. And also thank you for coming on as a guest and sharing your story. It's absolutely been incredible, and I hope that all of you will take this story with you to be able to spread and advocate in the community. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Of course. And don't forget, for those to find more content, great content like this, go to my blog website. It's known as The World of Autism. Even though on the URL I go by Exceptional Shell, that's my professional brand. So you go as like www.exceptionalshell.com. It just goes by my professional brand name, but when you go on the website itself, it's called The World of Autism. And don't forget to follow and subscribe my social media platform known as Exceptional Shell. You can find me at Self Advocate MV.